Have you heard of the 99-1 strategy and how it can potentially help you to save up to 100 over 1,000?
And why is it more for first-time condo buyer? Stay tuned.
Hey guys, welcome back to our 99-1 video.
This is like a follow-up to the video that we did last time.
Please check it out. It was the decoupling video. 99-1 basically applies for private properties only. Okay, and before any decoupling is done, most couples own the property in the 50-50 share format. But after the 99-1, the share of ownership is literally like that, 99 and 1. Before we talk about 99-1, we have to talk about the two methods of property ownership in Singapore.
In Singapore, there's two methods to own the property. First is a joint tenancy. This is commonly used by a married couple. Both are equal share. When one owner passes away, the other will automatically inherit the entire property, even when there's no will around.
And then the second method will be tenancy-in-common. This is not commonly used for investment properties. Each owner owns a specific number of shares, for example, 99 and 1. But when one co-owner passes away, the other share does not automatically get passed over to the surviving party.
By default, if you go to a law firm and you do not give specific instruction to them, joint tenancy will be the default option.
When is 99-1 used? There are actually mainly three scenarios. The very first one will be when you need two buyers' income to pass TDSR.
That's to take a bigger loan.
And then for first-time property buyers who intend to buy a second condo later.
And that's to save on stamp duty.
Lastly, the Singapore couple with one foreign spouse buying their first matrimonial home.
Let's dive deep inside.
For the very first scenario is when you need both incomes for TDSR. Now this happens when one single buyer by him or herself cannot meet the TDSR requirements to buy their first property. So you combine two persons' income, take a bigger loan, and they can buy the property.
For such cases, usually banks will require that these two co-owners are related, like husband and wife, parents and kids, or siblings.
When we talk about TDSR, we have to touch on it a little bit. So what it essentially means is total debt servicing ratio. This is a regulation that came up by MAS from 2013 actually. So essentially it means you cannot use more than 60% of your income to service all kind of debts.
In simple terms, if you earn $1,000 per month, you should only use up to $600 every month to service a loan. And this loan includes your car loans, personal loans, renovation loans, etc. A lot of our clients are not familiar with this term called stress test. So basically what it means is that this TDSR is based on 3.5%, and it's because of this 3.5% that causes you to take lower loan than required.
What we have over here is a very simple case study, okay, where you can see the difference in affordability. Buyer 1, 5K income, age 35.
If there's only one buyer, the property value that you're looking for would be about 890K. Versus when you combine two buyers together, on the right-hand side, they have a 6,000 income for the TDSR. They can be looking at a property value of about 1.78 million.
That's a very big jump, no? Second scenario, first-time property buyers. Okay, now what this is essentially means is that when the couple eventually they're ready to buy their second property, the outgoing spouse who's holding on to the 1% will transfer the share, his or her share, to the party holding 99%.
The whole idea about 99-1, right, is that this couple has the intention to buy a second property in due time.
It's a form of future planning, okay? And the beautiful part is that when the 99% owner buys over that 1%, the stamp duty is only based on that 1% of the property value. And when the outgoing spouse relinquish their 1%, therefore they have no ownership in any kind of property. Therefore, they can buy the next property with no ABSD.
It will be their second property, but it will be the outgoing spouse's first property. That's why there's no ABSD. This is the magic.
For the third scenario, where the Singapore couple has one foreign spouse, this is a profile not often seen, but very useful and handy. Let us explain what it really means, okay? When a couple and a foreign spouse buy their first matrimonial home, they can apply for ABSD remission, okay? So no ABSD paid for the first property, right? Then the foreign spouse who's holding on to 99% will buy over the 1% share. But the outgoing spouse must be a citizen.
This happens when they are ready to buy the second property.
That's correct. And now that the outgoing spouse has no ownership in any property, therefore no ABSD for the next property.
So regardless whether this Singapore couple with one foreign spouse is going to buy one property or has the intention to buy two, this method will help them save on the ABSD itself.
Very, very useful tip. Now, of course, there are challenges, even though it sounds like a very magical and useful tool. Okay, so the challenges are as stated over here. There is a risk because you literally own what is stated.
That's right. You either own the 99% or 1%.
And the mental stress of the household supporting two loans, because now there's two properties under the household, therefore two loans.
Usually it's one spouse who will not be ready because they'll be thinking that, hey, we just bought one property. Why are we aiming for two? Bear in mind that you have to service two loans eventually when you buy two property.
And also lastly, how to allocate? Who owns the 99%? Who owns the 1%?
In theory, the higher earning spouse should be matched to the higher value property based on the loan factor.
That's correct.
But in practice, from experience, usually it will be the man who take the 1% because the wife will feel more secured.
Yes, holding on to the 99%. Yeah. So, but hey, everyone is different. Every
different.
couple is different.
So by right, by left, depends on what's the objective itself.
Yeah. In summary, every family should really plan to have two properties, one for your own use, the other to rent out for passive income.
If you only own one property, no matter how much the property appreciates, when you sell, you still need to buy back. But you have two property, one will be used as a rental unit for passive income. That's the ideal scenario.
But of course, the couple must work hard because you have to service the two loans for at least the next 20 years.
Because paying the down payment for one property or two properties is not that difficult. It's more like the money servicing that you have to be mindful of, which that will be with you for the next 20 to 30 years.
Yes. So this kind of planning may not be for everyone, but we can guarantee you at the end of the journey, you enjoy your fruits and you'll be able to retire comfortably.
One thing about this 99-1 strategy is actually it's a better strategy than the so-called sell one buy two strategy itself.
Yes.
Yeah. The idea about sell one buy two is to sell your HDB, take out the excess cash, and couple will buy two private properties immediately. So in that context, you'll be having two immediate loan to service for the next 20 to 30 years. So that's actually very stressful. Yeah. For me, I would say that sell one buy two might not be for everyone, even more. For this 99-1 strategy, it actually allows you to buy one property first. And then when you feel ready, then you plan your second property. This will be a more prudent strategy itself.
If the husband and wife combined income comes together, but still feel the TDSR, alamak, what to do?
This is another very common problem itself. Yeah. What if you feel TDSR?
There is a way to take a bigger loan through pledging or show cash.
Yeah, we'll touch on that more in the next video itself. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
See you next video.
See you next video.